Perfect. Yeah, this is gonna be, oh, I see we've got our bottles up. This is gonna be a blast. I mean, the STANY 84th annual conference, and I get to be here. We're gonna have some fun because, you know, behind a bar and making some cocktails, right now we have to become our own favorite bartender. It's kind of hard to go to the places we always used to. So becoming our own favorite bartender, we're gonna do the STANY approach and become brilliant. We're gonna become liquid chefs and a little bit of a rock star mixologist, and with it, we're gonna learn some cool techniques, and I'm gonna do this one cocktail that's gonna be a lot of fun, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do another one that's gonna be a little bit dangerous and a little fun in the sense of maybe a little fire involved, because nothing, I don't know, it'll be a blast, promise. But so as we start ahead, and we're gonna go, I always, you know, I've done the Oscars, the Emmys, the Grammys, and I always try to teach teams all over the world of a technique I love called the 3 T's. So we're gonna get into immediately making this first cocktail, which is the new green screen. And the new green screen is a cocktail with cucumbers and basils. What I'd like to do is your spirit of choice here. The first one, so I may use vodka on the first, but this cocktail will work great with vodka, gin, rum, tequila, or even bourbon. So it works great with any of that. We're gonna use a little sweetener or agave, some lime juice, and some bitters. As we build, we're gonna build through it. I'm gonna tell you some really cool things about it so you can start to open your chest of becoming a liquid chef. So jumping right in, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start to make the cocktail. And the new green screen cocktail is going to have some great cucumber to it to start off with. So if we take out our cucumber and we go ahead and we're gonna slice 2 slices with it, and we're gonna slice, if I'm gonna move it right over here, and so everyone can kind of follow along. And if you can't follow along, you'll be able to do it later, but you'll always be able to make the new green screen, and you'll be able to make it phenomenally well. So we're gonna do our little bit of our cucumber here, and we're gonna toss it right in. Now, most of the time when we're building a cocktail with herbs, people will tell you to muddle it. This is the first part about becoming a liquid chef, which the STANY group is now becoming a liquid chef with me, is that we never muddle the herb. We're gonna first of all muddle our cucumber. So with the cucumber, we're gonna take a muddler or the back of a wooden spoon or anything we want, and we're gonna just crush it. And as we crush it here, it gets that great cucumber flavor, that great cucumber juice to it. And then next, we're gonna take our herb. And here we're gonna use a little basil to it. So you don't wanna muddle the herb, and you don't wanna muddle the basil. And the reason why is it turns it bitter. So I don't want to turn it bitter. I want to just get that great flavor, that great nose from it. And we know that taste is 90% smell. So I'm going to give it a little clap between my hands right here, and boom. And we're going to drop it right on in. So I love to drop it in there. I know that the aroma's all over. Taste is that you can feel how good this cocktail is going to be. So everybody following along, we've got our basil in, we've got our cucumber in, and now we're going to go ahead and put in our citrus to it. So with our citrus, we're going to use about 0.75 or 3/4 of an ounce. Now this is known, of course, as a jigger, unit of measurement. With our unit of measurement here at 3/4 of an ounce, I'm going to fill it up, or if I wasn't using my jigger, it would look something like this. Now, the important part about it is I'm going to marry the exact measurement of my citrus to my sweetener. And here my sweetener, I have an agave, but if you had a honey syrup, it's fantastic. Or if I had a simple syrup, I might cut that back a bit. And the reason I love agave and working with the new green screen cocktail is that it's fibrous, meaning that it gives a great flavor, but it takes a little time for your body to digest. We don't want that sugar to go race right through the body. So with a little agave or honey, it's a healthier way of making a great cocktail. I've run programs for Jose Andres, for Gordon Ramsay. And the big thing is we want to get that flavor and reduce the calories. So here we go. We are going to put in our agave at about the exact same amount as our citrus. So we have it in. Oh, and we're ready. We're ready now. If you wanted to make a 0 proof cocktail, now's your chance. You don't have to add the spirit. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the spirit. This one, again, you can use any spirit you want, but this spirit I'm going to use a little Kettle One vodka, and I'm going to use 2 ounces of it. So if I was going to use my jigger, it would be usually the big side. And the fun thing about the jigger is there's a great story behind it. The jigger is a unit of measurement, of course, but in the Royal Navy, it was the smallest mast on a ship. And they always were measured how much of the ration of spirit, of gin or rum, and the officers would get pretty much as they want. And the servicemen, the naval seafarers, they would always get stuck with a jigger's worth, or the smallest amount. But so we are going to put in 2 ounces here. Oh, the new green screen and STANY. We are ready. We are ready. Oh, this is going to be great, great, great. Last bit here. I'm going to put in some bitters. And with my bitters, the important thing to remember is that bitters are great for taking 2 flavors that normally don't go together. Think of Manhattan, where you're using a bourbon or a rye, some form of a whiskey, and a sweet vermouth. What you want to do is you want to put 2 flavors and kind of make them go along, or add depth and elegance to a cocktail. So bitters, they work that way. They're really great for adding that, or adding a spirit and a citrus and kind of making them go together pretty nicely. So here goes our bitters in, and we put a couple good drops in. So we have our cucumber, we have our basil, we have the spirit that you wanted to use, the agave, lime juice, and our bitters, and now comes the icing and the shaking. Now this is the 84th annual conference for STANY. So the big thing about it, as I teach my teams around the world, is you want to shake and you want to go corner to corner, corner to corner, kind of like you're bouncing and having a lot of fun with that shake. You don't want to shake just super hard. You're actually rotating what's inside, because you want everything to be absolutely flavorful and beautiful. So we're going to take our martini glass. We're going to ice this up. We're going to take our tin, our beautiful tin, and ice that up, and we are all getting ready to shake like rock stars. Who's with me here? Who's ready to celebrate? This is our first of 2, and this one's going to be delicious. So get ready, corner to corner, and we're going to do a little dancing and a little shaking. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3. Oh! Having a little fun with it? You feel like it's so nice and cold and icy. You can actually see it just frosting up beautifully here. You can do that, and it's just, oh, this is really getting cold. That's, you know, how cold it gets is so beautiful. It's not always how hard you shake it, but the rotation of it. And I'm blending or mixing all my cocktail ingredients, and I'm going to make a phenomenal experience that way. So we have this. We have our icy martini glass. We are ready. Instinet, this is amazing, because thank you. I love cocktails. I love teaching teams. I do about 300 programs all over the world, and getting the chance to make some fun cocktails with y'all is just absolutely awesome. I have mine ready to pour. I want to show you a little fun trick that I love doing with this cocktail. Is I'm going to go ahead and build my garnish now. So I have my cucumber. I'm going to go back and I'm going to take my piece of basil, and with it, I'm going to spear it. So I'm going to hit it again like this. The oils, the nose. This is a great cocktail. All right, Instinet and STANY, let us go ahead and build and finish off this wonderful cocktail experience. We have it in, and we are ready to pour like a rock star. And let us go ahead and have some fun and watch as this starts to float all the way up top. I always call this composer hands. That means you're shaking. You've made this beautiful cocktail experience. You're up and down. You're really enjoying it. And then at the very end is that exclamation point, that little pop that ends that cocktail. well, not really ends it, because now we're going to get ready to enjoy it. Now we're going to get ready to enjoy the flavor. And I'm going to tell you a little couple cool things about it, not just stories, but the secrets of this great new green screen cocktail. So cheers to STANY, cheers to Instinet. Let's do this. Mmm. Mmm. I love this cocktail. I love it because when you pop the basil like that, it gives such an elegant note. So when I teach all these teams, I always tell them that cocktails are like 3 beautiful steps. Now with Gordon Ramsay and Jose Andres, what we do is we'll do like 9-step cocktails. But as we're becoming our own favorite bartenders, we're becoming a liquid chef, think of it as a painting, a work of art that's edible. And it has one beautiful spirit that is just gorgeous, and 1 or 2 that accent it. And here we chose a great spirit or color to accent. We accent it with a little citrus and a little fresh herbs and cucumber, and it is absolutely spectacular. I think it's a wonderful new green screen. Okay, now as we become liquid chefs, I need to show you a couple fun things about it. So we know that this cocktail is great. We know how to make it, we know how to execute it, but as we become really great at this, what we want to do is we want to learn how to taste vodka or learn how to taste pretty much any spirit. I'm going to teach you the method from 1894, Dmitri Mendeleev. So Mendeleev is known as the father of modern chemistry. But the cool part is he also did a huge vodka study. And so at the University of St. Petersburg, he said that vodka should be tasted with your hands and across your palate. So he would actually pour it into a little glass. And when he poured it into a glass, he would say, what we're first going to do is we're going to nose it. So we're going to pour just a little in. And instead of viticulture, which is the wine culture of the time, he would say, what we want to do is we want to let the fumes or the aroma of the spirit go up to our nose. So you're going to open your mouth and put your nose over the top and just breathe in through your mouth. And with great vodka, Dmitri Mendeleev, father of modern chemistry, said that we should almost get a cream of wheat or a vanilla. So let's all try this together and see if we get that. Now, I definitely get it with the vodka. Now, if you're tasting with a gin, what you're going to get is a little fresh juniper. If you're working with like a Hendrick's gin, you're going to get cucumber, all these different flavors. Of course, if you're working with a great bourbon, this is sort of the measure of the Kentucky Chew, which we'll get to a little later. But next he said, all right, we need to taste if anything's added to that distillate, if anything's added to the end of the cocktail. And the way you do that is you taste with your hands. So STANY and Instinet, let's have some fun. Let's taste with our hands. Let's taste like Dmitri Mendeleev. And we're going to pour it over our hand, and we're going to rub it together. And we're going to see how quickly it dries. So we're rubbing our hands. We're tasting with our hands. We're tasting like Dmitri Mendeleev would tell. And then as we see, it should dry or almost be completely dry in about 10 seconds. So we know that this is a really good vodka. Nothing's added to the distillate. And if something is added to that distillate, you're going to get a hint of lemon, and not just expensive lemon, but cheap lemon. Finally, Mendeleev said, is we finally get to taste it. And as we taste it, we're going to take a little air in with the sip, and we're going to let it sit on the palate. And when we drink it down, it's going to give a hint of a burn. And if it doesn't have any burn, that's a sort of a note that there might be something added. And that's important because then it's not a pure product. But let us all taste together. Taste in spirit. We're doing this to become great liquid chefs. So let's have a little fun with this. Air in and all right. So we know that this is a good product. This is a very good product, but I'm giving you a little homework. I want you to taste this on some of your favorite things at home, some of your favorite spirits at home, because with it, a lot of times you spend a lot of money, and then all of a sudden you're going to notice that there's a cheap lemon there, and you're going to say, wait a second. Mendeleev would say something's added to that distillate. So we know that by tasting this way, we can identify sometimes a product that is much more inexpensive, if you will. but a better product than sometimes those premium products. Now, I often get asked if I'm working with different spirits, do I ever put my spirit in the freezer? And I love that question because the answer is yes. If I know I'm going to be working with a great Manhattan or a low ABV or a great martini, a gin or a vodka, I'll put that in. And it's not necessarily because it's going to do something super spectacular or keep it in a certain state. What it's going to do is it's going to keep that temperature lower. So when I go ahead to make my great martini or Manhattan, the great little twist is you're already starting with a colder product. And with a colder product, boy, that flavor is better because it doesn't dilute. Without diluting, it's really the natural flavor that you're getting to. And so try that at home. Try these different vodkas, try these different gins, and always really kind of explore. The reason why we do low ABV, and low ABV is really trending right now, but it is, think of it as Campari or Aperol. They're ones without a lot of alcohol to them. So they're great flavors if you do an Aperol Spritz, but you want to, again, keep your low ABV in at least the refrigerator and your beautiful spirits in the freezer. Next up, we're going to get to a little bit of fire. We're going to get to a little ice. We're going to have a little bit of fun with that. Last, I'm going to leave you with one other little bar hack with it. And this bar hack is really important because it is done with spice. So if I were to go back and I were to build my new green screen cocktail, my STANY Instinet beautiful cocktail experience, I would want to use maybe a little spice to it, a little fun if you like that. If you like fun, if you like spice. But so the jalapeno, or if I'm looking at some of my other peppers that I have here on the bar, they have a great, people would say, flavor to them. But technically, there's no flavor in the sense of the spice is a sensation. And with this sensation, what it does is it releases dopamine. And dopamine is that pleasure center, because whenever you have something, I'm not brave enough to eat this right now. Whenever you have a pepper and you have that bite and it goes, ooh, your body registers it as painful. And it releases dopamine to the rest of your body to take care of it. So that's why when you see somebody have a bite of something spicy and they smile, they're smiling for the simple reason of that's the dopamine release. Dopamine is that pleasure center, but it's also the future. It makes you feel a certain way and feel special and sweat and smile. So as we're becoming liquid chefs and rock star mixologists, the next section when I come back, we're going to go crazy. We're going to do something wild, something I can't wait till you do at home. And we're going to have a lot of fun with it. But with it, think of your spice. Thinking spice is a sensation. Think of your mint and your basil. Anytime you're working with it, you're not muddling it. You're popping it. Last off is when you're working with citrus. And here I have my citrus here. I have my citrus here. Anytime I open it to create a cocktail, I'm starting a process called enzymatic bittering. Enzymatic bittering changes the flavor of something every bit for about 4 hours before it stabilizes. So in enzymatic bittering, it's basically when oxygen attaches to a cell and becomes a liquid. But for us as liquid chefs, it just changes flavor. And if I want to have a consistent flavor the whole way through, I may juice right away if I want that zest or that pop, or I may juice and let it wait for about 4 hours and make the ultimate green, the new green screen or new green screen with a little bit of spice. So I cannot wait to see y'all. I cannot wait till you come back. This next drink is going to be on fire. It's going to be hot. It's going to be a blast. I am so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. And I'm thirsty. I hope you are too. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Rob.
Cheers.
See you soon.
You.